Wow. For the bloopers. Fantastic. Started seeing little titties in there. If only it were that innocent. Hi there, dreamers. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are new. My name is Jacqueline. Thank you for spending some time here at my channel. Consider subscribing if you have not already. I would love to have you here for more videos. Generally, I make videos about houseplants and particularly Hoyas. It's been a little while since you guys heard from me, and I'm gonna be honest, it's because I've been feeling completely overwhelmed. And the culprit of that overwhelm was introduced in my last video. I was doing really well with my plant collection. I do have a few Hoyas that have, I think it's rust, maybe? It could be a bacterial or fungal thing. It's not something I've dealt with before. If you have solutions for that sort of thing, please let me know in the comment section down below. I have been spraying them with neem and cutting off the really badly infected leaves, which has been tragic. But anyway, I can make another video about all the different plant issues I've been having lately. I think this most recent plant acquisition that has been acting up has just kind of pushed me over the edge. It's been kind of a rough time for me lately. Obviously, it is April 2021. It has been over a year of quarantine for us Americans. We're all dealing with prolonged isolation. Also, April is the month last year when I lost 2 family members to COVID-19. It's been hard. You know, I had a lot of loss in my life last year, particularly in March and April last year. So, you know, my mental health has reflected that lately. It's like my body remembered before I really did. I've also been struggling because my skin is really unhappy. I've developed borderline rosacea while living here in the last year, so I don't feel comfortable coming on camera without makeup on like I used to. And I've kind of accepted where I'm at, but I'm not feeling like myself in my own bare skin. And so it's hard to come on camera when you're already struggling with mental health and you're already, you know, you're feeling isolated. I'm an extrovert. I had to leave my home. I had to leave my job. I had to pack up my whole house and leave in 2 weeks. I had to get rid of like half my stuff. It was a tough time. I think it's hard to be reminded of all the difficulties in so many different ways, and I think my struggles with my skin are just one of those ways. I just can't seem to escape all the realities, all the difficulties associated with this period of time. When my houseplants start suffering, it's a time for me to really recognize that they are a reflection of me. If they're struggling, I'm struggling. I'm just trying to do the best I can for myself. I have said in every video that I don't have a set schedule for uploading, and that is on purpose because I think that even when I don't tell you guys I have a schedule, I will hold myself to a certain standard, and when I don't meet it, I am extremely disappointed with myself, and I just don't want to have that mindset going forward. I'm going to continue to not have a set schedule, try to internalize that, because I've really struggled with it thus far, but I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself, but that means I've been a little less present here. With that said, I hope that all of you out there are taking good care of yourselves and your mental health, and I hope you have people you can talk to about the real stuff because it matters. That's been my focus during this time. I hope you're able to do that for yourselves as well. I think it's really important. Anyway, I've been having a rough time emotionally and mentally lately anyway, and then a bunch of my plants started kind of having various issues that I don't know how to take care of, and one of my plants well, the nutshell version is that it has become its own ecosystem. I am so grateful that I put a dome over it in hindsight, because I understand what a ticking time bomb it was when I brought it home. Basically opened my eyes to the fact that every new plant is a potential time bomb. I wouldn't even bring it into this room, so I apologize that like the lighting and background, it's not cute, it's not desirable. I wouldn't even risk bringing that plant back in here because knowing my luck, there would be some whoopsie where like the dome got knocked, and I just can't risk that right now. I just mentally I would have a breakdown, and I am just not gonna do that for the sake of a video. But something I find about myself when I'm editing often is that I laugh to relieve pressure and not because things are funny, and it's a coping mechanism that I've found, and it's probably a pretty common one. But I've been choosing to laugh about this problem because I'm truly just overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. It started off in this room. Like I said, I told you guys I was letting the soil air out a little bit before I put a dome on it because I thought it was too saturated. And I keep seeing houseflies. And every time I would see them, like initially, it was on that plant. And it used to be right over here is why I keep looking that direction. It's not there anymore. That's where it sat originally. And I killed like 10 flies in this room in like 24 hours. I didn't open the window, like there was no other source. So I was just like, I'm gonna put the dome on it. And like clockwork, you guys, like it was only maybe 2 hours after I put the dome on, and there were 2 or 3 flies buzzing around inside there trying to get out. Oh my God, a housefly laid eggs in here. Okay. I looked up the growth rate, figured out, okay, like it should only be a few days of this, you know, if we're at this stage. And so I kept the dome on it, and every day I would go outside and shut the door behind me and let the flies out so that none of them would reach maturity and sow more eggs in the soil. That was the only pest I could see at the time, were houseflies. And I thought that was funny, you know? It really was funny to me because it was so harmless. By the time they're flying, they basically have to be flying for 3 days to reach the point where they can make more flies. So I just never let flies stay in there for longer than a day, and I would just let them out every day. And then a few days later, I started seeing little titty, wow, for the bloopers, fantastic. Started seeing little titties in there. If only it were that innocent. I started seeing little teeny tiny crawling bugs under this dome on this plant, and I had not seen them in my own plant collection. They reminded me of like springtails, which you'll see in soil. I mean, it's kind of a healthy bug. It reminded me of that, but it's not that because it's round and it's not long and thin. Uh-oh, I don't know what you are. And the next time I opened it up outside, I treated it with neem just to make sure we're doing at least minimal prevention. I didn't know what I was dealing with, but I thought that would be a good start. Over the next couple of days, I start realizing there are not only flies. The second tiny bug, which I believe are aphids, little beetle guys, they didn't fly or anything, they just crawl around. Then after a few days, I started seeing little skinny black and red, they almost look like flying ants. I don't think they are flying ants. I think they might be thrip, but I have no idea because I've not had these pests before, so I didn't really have a reference. And I've avoided looking online just because I don't want to get even more terrified than I already am. So what I've been doing is the last several days I've been alternating back and forth between spraying it with neem and spraying it with Captain Jack's. Essentially between the two I should be tackling whatever it is, but at this point I am just so overwhelmed. The last time I opened that dome was 2 days ago now, and I pulled mushrooms. Yes, tiny mushrooms were growing out the drainage holes at the bottom. That was interesting. And so I pulled those out and, you know, treated again with Captain Jack's. And I saturated not only the top soil, but I tried to saturate the bottom soil through the drainage holes just in case there were any like eggs down there or something. It grew a mushroom yesterday and I was like, oh, funny, you know, like it's tiny, whatever, it's not a big deal. And then this morning when I went out there, there's like 4 different mushrooms of the same type growing up out of the drainage holes. And there's 3 flies in there. One of them doesn't have any wings. So, you know, it's like, it's all the misfit eggs that are hatching. I feel like I was given all of the pests, an entire freaking ecosystem in one pot. And it was a very inexpensive plant. I think I paid $12 for this plant, and it's the most expensive $12 I have ever spent mental health wise. Would not recommend. I bought a few plants on that day. The other ones don't have problems. They're totally fine. Actually, the whale fin has put out a baby. I took pictures of it the first day that I noticed it, but it was behind the mother plant, so I didn't see it at first. I don't know what to think. I don't know if it was like contaminated soil and then being kept as moist as they had it. I don't know. If I'm feeling really brave, what I will do is I will go outside, I will dispose of all of it but the plant, rinse off as much soil as humanly possible, maybe soak it in something, and then replant it and try again in the dome just for safety's sake. Or I'm just going to toss the whole thing because I can't take it. And I think the second option is the more likely to happen, simply because I am planning a move, as I've said before. And that means that I am trying to minimize all shock and risk for my plants. I'm trying to make my life as easy as possible for transporting over 100 plants across multiple states. So I'm looking for the easiest possible solutions right now, and the easiest possible solution appears to be just hitting that reset button and hoping to come across this plant later, because I just don't know that it's worth it to me right now. If you are wondering, I did reach out to the shop and let them know. Once I started seeing more than flies, I did reach out to them and say, hey, you may want to keep an eye out for aphids, and I'm not sure if these are thrip. I feel like that's the right thing to do. I wasn't asking for a refund, I wasn't asking them to do anything, but I do think it's the right thing. If you are also feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling burnt out, I understand. You can tell us your plant woes that have resulted from said burnout below. Like I said, many of my Hoyas have somehow developed this like rust or bacterial fungal thing. I've lost 3 or 4 peduncles in my collection because I'll just like forget to water something. Yeah, like there's been a lot of weird stuff happening lately when I generally have a very uneventful plant collection other than just growth. So if that's happening to you too, if some of your plants are struggling, if you are struggling, just know that you're not alone. I am also struggling. I really am wanting to get excited about making videos again. So I'm doing everything in my power to just kind of nurture what I've got going on inside so that I can feel a little more whole, and that will lead to creativity, as it always does. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. Please support me by leaving a like down below. If you wish to support me further and you are looking for ways to do that, watching my videos in their entirety and interacting with them in any way is a huge way to help me, and thank you in advance if you do. I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. Please take care of yourselves. Have real conversations with people about real feelings. It's important, and you're important. I will see you in my next video. Bye.